Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Neal alongside my Heisman Trophy winning partner, Andre Ware. Glad you could be with us. And, Andre, this Kentucky team really slow out of the gates, but it looks like they've started to garner a little bit of momentum. And you can trace it all the way back to the insertion of quarterback Maxwell Smith. A true freshman has brought some life to this Kentucky offense.
Well, if you're going to turn things around and get yourself rolling late in the season, you got to have play or consistent play at the quarterback position. Maxwell Smith has really provided that the last couple of weeks. Came in against Florida, played very well last week against Ole Miss, did not turn the football over while throwing the 2 touchdown passes, has really added consistency to this Wildcat offense.
Coming off a big win over Ole Miss last weekend when they scored 20 points in the 4th quarter. Meanwhile, this Vanderbilt team, folks, if you've been following the SEC lately, they have been right on the edge of some big-time wins, but they haven't been able to get over the hump. Last week, another example. Andre, how do they do? How do they finish football games?
Well, you flip to quarterback position at Vandy as well, taking care of the football. And then you mentioned the near misses at Georgia, Arkansas last week against Florida. An offsides penalty stopped them from getting the football back and an opportunity to win that football game. Jordan Rogers has stepped in and played well for them at quarterback, but defensively they've got to get back to forcing turnovers like they did earlier in the season.
You mentioned defense, and that is a hot topic today, because if you want to follow some great players, keep an eye for linebackers on both clubs. Danny Trevathan of Kentucky and Chris Marv of Vanderbilt, 2 of the best not only in this league but in America.
Yeah, they've had outstanding careers. Go to Danny Trevathan first, leading the SEC with 111 tackles. A guy that lines up on the outside, inside. Speed is his asset, and he will get after the quarterback. And then Chris Marv on the other side. Seems like every year we're talking about him with 100 tackles, with the exception of last year. Had 80, but he is the heartbeat of that Vanderbilt defense.
No question. The heart and soul of Vanderbilt defense. That man, Chris Marv, on senior day, his last home game at Vanderbilt. Certainly a big day for him. Big day for both of these teams. We touched on a little bit earlier the importance of this game. For more on that, let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Kara Capuano. Kara.
Well, guys, Kentucky is trying to extend a school record 5 straight bowl game appearances. And when we talked to linebacker Danny Trevathan earlier this week, he said the Wildcats players are playing with a sense of elimination in this game. He says this is live and die football. Predicts a great game because every player is going to give it his very best. Those sentiments were echoed yesterday to us by Vanderbilt cornerback Casey Hayward, one of 9 seniors trying to become the first ever Commodores to participate in multiple bowl games during their career. He told us that not only would this be big for those guys, it's all about laying a foundation of success for the underclassmen of Vanderbilt. Dave?
Thank you, Kara. When you think about Kentucky, they've been to 5 straight bowl games. Vanderbilt's been to 4 in the history of this program. Vanderbilt would love to somehow sneak into that bowl picture. Of course, the SEC has 9 guaranteed slots.
How about the culture of Vanderbilt, though? I know James Franklin, first-year head coach, he's really changed the culture, and the players believe that they can win football games. They're there to be won. They've just got to figure out how to finish teams off. And going into the 4th quarter, in a lot of instances, they've had the lead and just could not finish teams.
Well, Kentucky won the toss. They defer, so Vanderbilt will get the football first. That'll give us a chance to look at Jordan Rogers and this Commodore offense that has certainly made some improvements under James Franklin. John Donovan, the offensive coordinator. These guys have worked together before, coming from Maryland, and have put together a nice little offensive package for Vanderbilt. Joe Mansour will kick it off for the Wildcats. Back deep, Andre Howe, Stephen Clark for the Commodores. And we are on the way in Nashville. It'll be Andre Howe out to the 20-yard line. So here comes this Vanderbilt offense, averaging almost 25 points a game. Rushing for 158, passing for 168. But Jordan Rogers, 297 last week down at the Swamp, was fabulous in the second half. Couple of touchdowns, 0 interceptions. This club trailed 17-0 to the Gators at intermission, and they came out a completely different ball club last week, but just not enough to get over the hump.
Yeah, you could tell the nerves were there early in the first half with Jordan Rogers. Few, early game jitters, but he went into the locker room and came out as a different player.
Bobbles the football, still gets it to the outside, but that allows Kentucky to get some defenders out there, and not much of a game. They'll spot it at the 22-yard line. That was Wesley Tate on the reception. As we take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. One change in the offensive line we'll get to in a moment, but you look at the backs and receivers. Zach Stacy chasing down 1,000 yards. A little over 750 this year. And up front, Andrew Bridges, the true freshman, gets the start at left tackle. Wesley Johnson moves to guard. That's because Ryan Seymour got hurt last week at Florida and will not play. Gain of 4 by Rogers. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 4 as we look at the Kentucky defense. This is a group that has been solid up front, and Mr. Cobble and Dante Rupp both banged up this week. Practiced a little bit, but not a lot. Those guys have been a real force. We talked about Danny Trevathan. Ronnie Snead, also very talented linebacker, a senior out of Tallahassee. In the secondary, Winston Guy has been the man. He is second on this team with 93 stops. That's right, 93, and you're second on your team. 3rd down pass is caught out to the 37-yard line. Chris Boyd, the freshman out of Roswell, Georgia, brought down by Bird, and that's a gain of 11.
Well, a nice slant route on the outside by Boyd. It's kind of become a little competition between Boyd and Matthews, 2 big-time players, large receivers that have really learned how to use their body types to their advantage. Big-bodied guys can shield defenders, and what I like, they catch the football with their hands and not the chest or the pads.
Big 3rd down conversion there. Vanderbilt 12th in the league in that department. Rogers on the run. Incomplete, out of bounds goes Jordan Matthews.
Well, a little late with the football was Jordan Rogers. Matthews was wide open right as he came out of the roll right there. Give it to him right now, and he's wide open. You see, asking for it with plenty of room between himself and the sideline, and late with the football is Rogers. Basically threw his wide receiver out of bounds. So a little bit earlier, and he's got a big-time completion.
2nd down and 10. Rogers keeps it, throws near side. Pass caught by Boyd, breaks a tackle, gets a stiff arm and a 1st down. And then a late flag comes in as Martavius Nellums slings Boyd to the turf. So you can tack on another 15 to that one.
Watch this, Dave. Jordan Rogers has a lot of decisions here.
Dead ball, personal foul, number 15 of the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic 1st down.
Or a lot of options that he can work with. First to the running back, Zach Stacy, right there, freeze it. You see the defensive end close down inside. So now you pull it, and then you can either run or swing it out here to the receiver, which he does. A lot of options for the quarterback. You have to be in tune with each individual read. He could have actually kept the football after showing it to Zach Stacy, but the read takes him to the wide receiver.
Boy, offsides up front. Luke McDermott, senior out of Louisville, taps Logan Stewart on the shoulders, and that'll move him 5 more yards, so 20 free yards
Offsides,
for the Commodores.
Number 68 of the defense with contact, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Well, those are the plays, Dave, that drive a coach crazy. Joker Phillips before the ball's even snapped. And if you can do that as a quarterback, get a guy to jump, then 1st down and 5, this is where you take a shot deep down the field. Little play action, because it's essentially a free down.
1st and 5. Toss sweep, Zach Stacy, his first carry today. He'll pick up 5. Led by Trevathan defensively. And that'll be good enough to move the chains, I believe. Matt Moore taking a close look.
Well, a nice block on the edge by Kyle Fisher, the right tackle. The team captain, great leader up front on that offense, and a guy that brings it, plays hard and works hard each and every day, according to this coaching staff.
Today's 1st and 10 line brought to you by local Toyota dealers. Toyota moving forward. Little reverse action. Krause will take it inside the 25, and a late flag comes in after the play.
Boy, Martavius Nellums really kind of got himself out of position, but was able to kind of rally back and stop this from being a huge play by Vanderbilt.
Looks like Logan Stewart, the center, was deep downfield, tried to make a block on somebody in the secondary. I couldn't pick up that number, and that's right where the flag came in.
After the play, personal foul, number 60 of the offense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
I'll tell you what, that's a guy that got in some trouble last week down at Florida. Personal foul in that game as well.
Second down.
We had a long talk with the head coach James Franklin about Logan Stewart. But you see Nellums right here, number 15, freeze it. He gets inside coming from this position, and it basically almost blocks himself. He's able to recover. Otherwise, that's getting ready to go for a long run. But then the Logan Stewart penalty basically brings it back anyway.
So now you're looking at a second down and 21. No flag on that. Perhaps Burden got there early. Instead, it'll be third down coming up.
When we talked to James Franklin about Logan Stewart and his edginess, last week we saw him against Florida and is really going at it with a couple of defensive linemen for Florida. They don't want to take that away from him, but he's got to learn to control it, Dave, because it hurts an offensive unit when you line up third and forever as opposed to second and third down and short. You're basically hurting your football team.
John Seymour stands to the left of Jordan Rogers. Here comes some pressure. Rogers can't get out of the way. Down he goes. Eric Dixon, a true freshman out of Mobile, Alabama, drops Rogers for a 9-yard loss.
Boy, and he had to come a long way because he's coming from the outside, way out here, and you see him, you identify him as a quarterback. You got to just throw that one away, realize that I'm not going to get away from this guy. And maybe you have a chance at a long, long field goal, but taking that sack takes you out of field goal range and puts you in this punting formation.
They were first down and 10 at the 26-yard line. Now they're having to punt it away on 4th and 30. It'll go out of bounds. Nice job by Richard Kent to get that out of bounds inside the 10, inside the 9-yard line. Well, coming up after the break, we'll go around the league and look at, well, who's moving in, who's moving on, and who's moving up after the weekend. Stay with us on the SEC Network. Kentucky with the football. Maxwell Smith, a true freshman under center. 6'4", 220 out of Grenada Hills, California. First pass is caught. It goes to LaRod King, and he's close to the first down. That should be good enough. A gain of 11 if you look at our Chick-fil-A lineups. And for Kentucky offensively, Coach Sheik Williams coming off a big-time game. A couple of 100-yard games this season. Gets the start again. The offensive line really gelling. These guys hurt early this season, last month. Playing much better, and that has a lot to do with their health. Williams gets a couple off the left side. Take a look at this Vanderbilt defense. They're giving up 23 points a game. Total defense, they are 6th in the conference. That defensive end combination of Tim Fugger and Walker May, pretty talented linebackers led by Chris Marr. Al Owens gets his 3rd consecutive start as Chase Gardner still bothered by an ab strain. And in the secondary, Casey Hayward with 5 picks, Trey Wilson with 3 picks. These guys have been solid all year. 2nd and 8. Batted in the air, off a helmet, nearly picked off, but it'll fall to the turf. 3rd down coming up. Andre, we talked a little bit about Max Smith. Your thoughts about the young man and where he's gone the last couple of weeks? It just seems like it's a completely different guy.
Yeah, he really is. And what I like about him is his body language. You watch him on film, he looks like he belongs. Not a guy that's a true freshman starting for the first time. He looks the part. Reminds me a little bit of a guy like Mike Hartline, who had a lot of success at UK. I think he's going to be the quarterback under center for Kentucky for quite some time.
He is listed as a true freshman. Was actually came into Kentucky in January, so had a spring practice under his belt as well. That pass is caught by Gene McCaskill. Gain of 2, and Wildcats will have to punt it here. They pick up a first down and then stall out at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, Walker May makes a play. High energy player. He's always around the football and never stops working.
Ryan Tidlatchka to punt it away. Second in the conference, 17th in the country in punting, averaging 44 yards per kick. His long is 64 and has some wind at his back, so a chance for a real boomer here. Jonathan Crowell stands back at the 35. Low snap. He botches it. Tidlatchka gets dropped back at the 2-yard line. Yeah, that went boom, but the wrong way.
Udom Uma, one of the fastest players on this Vanderbilt football team, coming off the edge, and that's why you have those fast guys on the edge in case plays like this happen. You can low snap to Tidlatchka. He can't retrieve it fast enough to get it out. And then a fast player with speed like Uma with a for sure tackle, you can't do anything but protect the football. In that case, if you're the punter, Vanderbilt with an excellent break here early.
First and goal. They will spot it at the 3-yard line. Zach Stacy is the tailback. Line up in the I formation. He'll hand it off to Stacy. Cuts it back to the right side. Commodores from 3 yards out. Pick up 6 here in the opening quarter behind Zach Stacy, his 7th rushing touchdown of the year.
Wasn't a turnover, but it might as well have been. When you get tackled like that and then you're taking advantage of a turnover type situation. Nice blocking in the middle. Logan Stewart, Seymour, Wesley Johnson, those guys, nice job.
Point after by Ryan Fowler is up and good. And it's 7-0 Commodores on a gift. Zach Stacy been getting it done. The junior out of Centerville, Alabama, puts the Commodores up a touchdown. We take a look at our Ameriprise Financial SEC headlines. Of course, big news, Missouri finally accepts the invitation to join the SEC. Took a while to get the Tigers at the conference, but finally officially. And of course, Houston Nutt out as Ole Miss head coach at the end of the season. Pete Boone, their athletic director, will step down when his successor is named. And of course, a big game, the South's oldest rivalry going on between Auburn and Georgia, coming up at 3:30 Eastern time. Big game for Georgia. If they win, South Carolina loses, they win the East. But nobody's talking about the fact that if South Carolina wins and Georgia loses, the Gamecocks clinch the East. Nobody talks about that.
That's a big game. Auburn, Georgia as well. That Ole Miss job, I think, is an excellent job when you start looking at jobs around the country and programs. Excellent facilities, good alumni support. Good coach there.
Ashley Lowry steps back to take this kick. The true freshman tripped up at the 34-yard line. Kerry Spear, the kicker, with a nice special teams tackle.
Well, let's go back, Dave, and take a look at this. Rob Lohr, a defensive tackle here, is going to work inside, and he's going to find the guy that's leading the SEC in tackles in Danny Trevathan. Freeze it. Look at the block. You don't have to throw a knockout block. Just get body position, and that allows Zach Stacy to get himself into the end zone. But a defensive tackle lined up as a tight end throws the block that gets Stacy into the end zone.
Here's Koshik Williams. He'll get it out over the 40. That's a gain of 6 on the play. Casey Hayward trips him up, but good start on first down. Brings up 2nd down and 4. Zach Stacy on that touchdown run a little while ago, his 7th of the year. A nice chat with Zach yesterday. Very pleasant young man. And boy, you want to talk about a guy that's all about team.
Yeah, and he will lay it on the line for his team. Really no individual goal set. It's all about winning and being a part of the team and doing your part as a running back of this Vanderbilt team. Smith
has time, fires. Incomplete, looking for Lerod King.
And Dave, Maxwell Smith's got a challenge because I think one of the most underrated defensive coordinators in the country is Bob Shute. And he's got Vanderbilt playing some outstanding football defensively. They're a zone blitz type team. And when you have that kind of look, you've got to be patient as a quarterback. You see, always in position are the defenders of Vanderbilt.
3rd down and 4. Williams hit it to 41, got a yard, needed 4.
Guess who? Chris Marv. 65 tackles, now 66 to his credit. But watch where he comes from the middle of the screen, and he's going to make a play all the way out to the outside here on a receiver. Nice read. You can only do that by film study. He takes a running start to Koshik Williams, the running back out there, and makes a play in space against the smaller guy.
Kidlatska holds on to the punt this time. It gets off a good one. Krause will let it hit at the 5, and it bounces in the end zone. These punters that are punting in that direction are going to have a tough time today gauging the wind because it's quite brisk going from right to left. 7:28 to go here in the opening quarter. The Commodores have the football, and they're up a touchdown. Stay with us on the SEC Network. McAllister's Deli is giving 2 lucky guests each a Jeep Wrangler. Visit us on Facebook.com/TFreaks for official rules, entry forms, and great weekly tailgate prizes. Visit Facebook.com/TFreaks, and you could be a big game winner. Gorgeous day here in Nashville. Cool temperatures. Should reach about 60 degrees today when it's all said and done, but certainly Chris Marv, it's his kind of weather, his kind of game, making some plays.
Boy, sideline to sideline type player, and he's the heartbeat and soul of that Vanderbilt defense, has been since his freshman year. He's an interesting story. He's one of 8 children, and by the time he graduates from Vanderbilt, he's going to have 3 degrees. Wants to go to law school once his playing days are over, but I think he may have a few more years once he leaves Vanderbilt and an opportunity to play on Sundays. I really like Chris Marv as a player.
He went to the airport to pick up James Franklin the day he got hired. Rodgers out of the shotgun on 1st and 10. Going deep, looking for Tate, batted out of the air. That ball floated. Martavius Nellums swipes it out of the air. Could have had a pick.
Well, you look at Jordan Rodgers. He goes about 6'1", just a hair above 6 feet. But watch where the release point is, which allows him to play a little taller than his size. Always up high. Right here throwing into double coverage, and that one, you know, when the coach questions you and says, why did you throw into that? Well, coach, I was just trying to make a play. That is Jordan Rodgers. He's always trying to make a play to move his football team.
Well, it looked like the wind might have kept that ball floating in the air. It's going to be tough to throw a deep ball today going into this direction, left to right. Rodgers will keep it. Like a little play we might have down in the cul-de-sac. Yeah. Chris Boyd makes the catch. It's Rodgers.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you've studied the University of Houston, my alma mater, that is one of their signature plays, is to basically run the option. You give Zach Stacy an opportunity. Freeze it. Everybody goes down and inside, so you pull the football as a quarterback. Now you're out on the edge. Freeze it again. Right here, if you don't have the run, you see defenders closing in. You can flip it outside to the receiver. 3 options there. Hand it off, run it, or flip it out. Would take some fine understanding of the offense.
Kentucky brings some pressure. Vanderbilt picks it up. Austin Monahan takes it inside Wildcat territory. 22 yards on that pickup.
Monahan's a big target for Jordan Rodgers. 6'6", 242 pounds. Right down by Danny Trevathan, but you see the big guy crossing. Accuracy at the quarterback position. That's what I'm talking about. People in your face, and that high launch point that he throws, in which he throws the football, allows him to see and make the most out of his height.
3rd catch of the year for the backup tight end, Austin Monahan. Rodgers will throw it again. Has some running room. Danny Trevathan out there. And Trevathan provides the wall Kentucky needed, but a nice 8-yard pickup. Avery Williamson will get credit for the stop.
Well, this is where he can really hurt you, because this play's designed to go right. Everybody's blocking right. Watch everybody go right. And then now, nothing there as he drops back the pass. Freeze it. You see all this right here. Green grass in which to run. Get as much as you can. Get down and come back on second down.
Second and short. A couple of tight ends. Zach Stacy works the left side. Picks up the first down at the 34-yard line. Randall Burton hanging on for the tackle. That's a 4-yard pickup for the Doors.
Boy, you like the game that John Donovan, the offensive coordinator for Vanderbilt's calling. Keeping Kentucky off balance. You see early down passes are the threat to throw. And then you come back with a run. You really can't judge it, Dave, because it's not run, pass on third down. It's a nice mixture in this drive.
Well, fresh set of downs for the Commodores. Back Stacy inside the 30 to 29. That's 5 yards. Attention golfers and club pros. Online registration now open for the 2012 ESPN National Golf Challenge. Log on to ESPNGolf.com to sign up and find a participating course near you. You look at Jordan Rodgers, of course, the younger brother of Aaron Rodgers, who was a big fan of his little brother. He's actually been to a game here in Nashville. And Jordan saying earlier this week, yeah, I may be a little bit behind my brother in terms of a quarterback, but when it comes to the best athlete in the family, without a doubt, I think the quote was, he is steadfast in his belief he's the best athlete in the family. Says when it comes to playing basketball, you want Jordan on your team, not Aaron.
Yeah, that's when you start talking about comparing yourself to the MVP right now, in my opinion, the best quarterback in all of football, and Aaron Rodgers. Well, I guess brothers can do that to one another. A little needling back and forth between the younger brother and the older.
He said, this is the quote, I promise you. I can say with confidence that I am athletically dominant over him, meaning his brother Aaron. So take that, Aaron. I know you're home watching.
That's great.
Matthews down to the 24-yard line. That's going to be real close.
Yeah, decision time.
Winston Guy on the tackle. Cartier Rice also there.
Yeah, decision time for James Franklin. I think without a doubt, early in a ball game, you have the lead. You're at your opponent's 24.5-yard line. You definitely go for it in this situation, and the offensive unit's still on the field. Matt Moore, our official, is going to take a look at this one, maybe bring out the chains, just to make sure they get a correct spot on this football.
Vanderbilt, a team that is not shy about going for it on fourth down, among the best in the country. Matter of fact, they're over the last 2 games are 4 out of 4 on fourth downs. And they will be just shy.
No doubt you go for it here if you're Vanderbilt. Kentucky faced with a big stop here early in the football game to kind of stall out the momentum that Vanderbilt's gained with that bad snap, excellent field position, and Zach Stacy touchdown run, and they've kind of continued to ride that momentum. Amazing how that feeds through the entire team. You're talking special teams and then the defensive unit getting themselves off the field to provide good field position for Jordan Rodgers in this offense.
Vandy quickly to the line.
No quarterback sneak is a nice remedy here.
Instead, they'll hand it off. Zach Stacy.
I think he got a bad spot. Now, the line judge, when he took that step left to spot this football, it made it closer. And I thought Zach Stacy was well past the first down marker when this ball snapped. Once he makes contact right there, you'll see it. That's where the ball is going to be spotted, just behind the seat, or just past the seat. He's got enough.
Wow. First down.
And now Kentucky, Dave, right for some play action. They are selling out. You see everybody inside because of the formation. That was actually at the top of the C where that ball would have been spotted, and it's just past it, but enough by Zach Stacy. But right now, I think you go to play action, keep the linebackers up and put one of those big receivers, either Boyd or Matthews.
Zach Stacy inside the 20 down to the 19. Avery Williamson with a stop, gain of 5.
A nice block inside. Logan Stewart working on Danny Trevathan.
Well, Vanderbilt inside the red zone. Brought to you by Verizon Wireless. They're 10th in the league, 79% scoring. Touchdowns, 15 touchdowns and 24 opportunities. Have to get that up around the 75% mark. Rogers bobbles the football, keeps it, falls forward. Now you're looking at 3rd down and about 3.5, maybe 4.
Well, that's okay, because you get to 3rd and medium, and even with the bobble, same identical formation, but they're going outside, and he leaves it in there for Stacy just a tad bit too long, and the ball finds its way back to his hands. And you don't take, you don't turn the football over, but now 3rd and medium, right where you're right on schedule on this down and distance.
Rodgers will throw it, looking to the end zone, and it's picked off at the goal line. Taken away by Randall Burden. Burden still on his feet. Randall dropped back at the 28-yard line. A huge play by the Wildcats, and their senior corner out of LaGrange, Georgia, stops the Commodore drive.
Yeah, this one seemed a little, he was anticipating the wide receiver Krause, Jonathan Krause, to be outside of Randall Burton. He ends up inside, corner route by the outside receiver. You've got a high-low that you're working, balls in the air early. So he's expecting Krause to be outside. He's inside, and the ball's thrown right to Randall Burton.
Quick snap. Williams out over the 35 to the 36-yard line. That's a gain of 7. Randall Burton has started 35 consecutive games for Kentucky at corner. His 2nd interception of the year.
Yeah, they put him into the boundary, and it basically matches him against the opponent's best receiver, and he's their lockdown corner.
Kentucky going to that hurry-up game. Something they really wanted to hang their hat on last year, early this year, was this hurry-up offense. They just haven't been able to do it.
Yeah, when you don't have consistency up front, as well as consistency at the quarterback position, really limits you for what you're going to do if you're Randy Sanders, the offensive coordinator. But I'll tell you what Kentucky just did. They just stole the momentum. Because you had points on the board if you're Vanderbilt, just about guaranteed in some form.
3rd down. Toss sweep to Williams, and he falls close to the 1st down.
I think he's going to be just short of the 1st down marker, and now it's a dangerous decision if you decide to go for it and you're short here if you're Joker Phillips, because 4th down, you get penetration. It's going to be tough to overcome that defensively.
You think you can get 6 inches.
I think your offensive line can move there as you go for it, and that's how he feels here.
Make sure you join us at halftime as we announce this week's winner of the Honda Generators Tailgate Giveaway. Each week we'll be awarding a brand new Honda EU 2000i generator to the fan with the best tailgate. Simply send us video or pictures showing how you tailgate for your chance to win. Log on to ESPNplus.com for more.
That's a big down. Remember last week, Lord jumped offsides at Florida, really cost him an opportunity to get the football back to win the game.
Williams got it. He's at the 40.
And I mean barely got it. Penetration by Fugger, penetration by Walker May. And they barely pick up this 1st down. Actually, it's Kyle Westman, the defensive end. You see the penetration, and if he doesn't stumble, he's going to meet Williams in the hole, and now it's just mano a mano. Williams actually is able to fall forward for the 1st down.
Jonathan George, his first carry into Vanderbilt territory, picks up 17 yards down to the 44-yard line. First down, Cats.
Boy, he is a nice compliment to Williams. Both guys, when you watch them on film, for young running backs, and I saw Williams do it one time, and then he got it right. But George as well, kind of cut from the same mold. They read the blocks of the inside guys very well and get down here.
That'll do it for the first 15 minutes of football from Music City, USA on Senior Day. Commodores with an early 7-0 lead on a gift from the Wildcats. Second quarter football on the other side. Back on the SEC Network, downtown Nashville. Inside historic Ryman Auditorium, view from the stage. Had a chance to go watch the Grand Ole Opry there a few months ago. Watched Toby Keith perform. Kind of a thrill to be inside the Ryman. Of course, Grand Ole Opry's moved out to Opryland during the winter months. You didn't know I knew that much about it.
I certainly did not.
That pass out of bounds, looking for Brian Adams or Gene McCaskill. Both guys were over in that area.
Boy, ugly coming off the hand of Maxwell Smith. I think the wind, he's now faced with going into the wind. It had a lot to do with how that football came off his hand.
I mean, Andre, as a quarterback, is it better to throw into the wind?
I actually love throwing into the wind, because if you have a strong enough arm, you can cut it through the breeze. It's harder to judge it when it's blowing as brisk as it is from behind, because balls will sail on you when you're trying to throw it down the field. Need to get that. I had a strong arm. You know, trying to sneak that one in there.
I wasn't going to go back to that, but
trying to sneak. I'm just making sure you got that, partner.
Smith, that one hits Larod King right in the back, and Joker Phillips.
Well, it almost looked like they were
trying
to set up a pick of some sort, because it hits King in the back. He looked like he was turning the block rather than turning to or getting a reception. Like something was being set up on the outside where he's blocking instead of looking for the football.
Good throw, hit him right in the numbers.
Right between the 1 and the 6.
Maxwell Smith got his arms up in the air as well. Third down and 10. Here comes an all-out blitz. Smith hit off the fingertips of Javon Marshall. It's incomplete. 4th and 10 coming up.
Yeah, Marshall's got 2 picks to his credit this season, and he's a guy first year full-time starter, and is really bulked up this offseason to play that safety position. Got himself to about 190 pounds, and he's playing solid on the back end for James Franklin.
So Tidlatchka back to punt. Jonathan Kraus stands at the 10-yard line. Wobbly kick that'll hit at the 20. Gonna go out of bounds at the 14. Nice kick by Ryan Tidlatchka. That'll take us to a timeout. Jordan Rogers getting set to come back onto the field when we return to Nashville. Today's SEC Network game is brought to you by Groove Caulk by GE. Never sticky or stringy, never cracks or crumbles, always paintable. Champion, it's how you play. The 2012 Chevy Silverado HD. AT&T, get it faster with 4G, rethink possible. And by Regions Bank, it's time to expect more. Some of the Vanderbilt students out here on Senior Day, final home game of the year for the Commodores. We'll have Tennessee and Wake Forest to round out the season on the road. Inside handoff goes to Stacy. Ronnie Sneed wraps him up, but a gain of 6 for the young man who's averaging 6.9 yards per carry. That's right. Zach Stacy today, 7 carries, just 29 yards. So that average dipping a little bit, but coming into this, I mean, at this point in the year, Andre, when you get to week 9 or 10, you are what you are.
Yeah, that's true. And you look at it offensively, it's been total dominance by Vanderbilt. 95 total yards before this drive, just 29 for Kentucky.
Give Stacy another chance. He'll be about a yard shy of the first down. Got tripped up in the interior by Winston Guy. Boy, I love watching Winston Guy play. They play him all over the field.
Yeah.
They just kind of give him an almost, I know it's not, but it's almost like free reign to chase the football down.
Yeah, they'll line him up in a lot of different positions. They're not afraid to blitz him off the edge, up the middle, and that's why he is second only to Danny Trevathan in the SEC in tackles.
Boy, Mike Minter, the new defensive coordinator, co-defensive coordinator at Kentucky, is giving Winston Guy a chance to make a ton of plays this year. Rodgers looking for Matthews. He makes the catch. Another spectacular grab from Jordan Matthews at the Kentucky 48. That's 29 yards. Mosley was on the coverage as we look at our All-State good hands play of the day.
Boy, that's a beautiful pass, but an even better catch. Watch at the end of this. He doesn't alert the defensive back that the ball's in the air. Hands go up at the last second to come away with this. Nice little separation there with the left arm, where the officials don't see it. If you can get away with it, you do it. Not speeding unless you get pulled over.
Jordan, just a sophomore. Here's Brandon Barden, a senior. He picks up the first down at the 35, inside the 35, down to the 34. That's 14 more yards.
Yeah, he's probably got the best hands on this Vanderbilt football team. Just a natural tight end at 6'5", just under 250 pounds. He moves well, and I'll tell you what, he has really improved as an online blocker in this James Franklin offense this season.
Now you're looking at first down and 10. Rodgers under center. Here's Stacy. He's close to the 25, about a yard shy of the first down. Give him 9.
Dave, when you have success on first down the way Vanderbilt's having it, and you're John Donovan, the offensive coordinator, James Franklin helping in that play selection, easy. It's easy to call plays. You got the defense off balance. You're ripping 5-6 yards on first down. Now it's dealer's choice when you come to the line of scrimmage on second and short, second and medium.
Stacy. No gain on the play, maybe a yard. Ashley Lowry led the way. For more on this Vanderbilt offense, let's go down and check in with Kara.
Well, guys, Coach Franklin told us yesterday that their philosophy is if the opposing defense is committed to stopping something, then we need to change up our offensive calling to find something which breeds success. So many offenses try to impose their will. Vanderbilt tries to find opportunities where the defenses aren't looking. Andre?
Yeah, if he sees a defense in cover 2, their job to run the football, to get them out of that to 3 deep, then they want to throw it to get you back in 2 deep. So it's a chest match, so to speak, of offense against defense, and they've done a fine job early in this ball game, Dave, of keeping Kentucky off balance and winning the chess match of offense versus defense.
Second down and 7. Stacy, stiff arm, first down at the 10. Ronnie Sneed will get credit for the tackle, but 9-yard pickup for Zach Stacy.
A nice job by Wesley Johnson starting at guard this week. 67. You see him there pulling around and really just pinning Trevathan inside. And they've done a nice job of finding number 22. They blocked him with Rob Lohr with a Stacy touchdown run. Another couple of plays. They've been just enough, just a chip on Trevathan where he can't make plays.
Seymour gets the carry. He bounces off one of those big bodies. No gain on the play. Might even lost a half a yard in the process.
And just to kind of add to Kara's point is when you're too deep, now you have a safety that's removed from the line of scrimmage and one less body inside the block. You should be able to run the football because you have numbers offensively. When the safety creeps down, now you have less players in the secondary on the back end. That's when you want to pick it up and throw the football because you're outnumbered inside in the box.
Second down, and we'll call it a long 10 yards. 10th play of the drive coming up out of the shotgun.
I like this matchup up here, one-on-one.
Rogers will keep it himself. Met by Danny Trevathan. Maybe a yard, but Danny just saw the ball, sought the ball, and hit the ball.
Yeah, 17 tackles in the last 2 games apiece, so 34 tackles in 2 weeks. And you see Trevathan there. When you give him the ability, you don't shield him, and he can play coming downhill. That's what he'll do to you.
You know, Andre, he said he was miffed. Is that word? I'm using that word about being left off the semifinal list for the Butkus Award as the best linebacker.
How can you lead the SEC in tackles and not be on that list at the end of the season? I don't understand it either.
Flags coming in and false start. A lot of guys, a lot of moving parts. Here's Matt Moore.
Prior to the snap, snap infraction. Number 60 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That'll back him up 5 yards. But Trevathan, since he was left off that Butkus Award list, he has gone
crazy.
34 tackles in 2 games, 17 in a game in the last 2 games since he was left off that list. And he even told us when we talked to him this week, he was upset.
Well, he has a number too. I said, can you do 17 3 weeks in a row? And he kind of quietly whispered 20 this week.
Rogers throws, pass caught, touchdown. 14 yards out, it goes to Chris Boyd, who used that 6'3" frame to shield the defender, and the door's up 13-0.
Yeah, go back 2 plays ago, and that's the exact formation they go back to, and it gave Boyd, hold it right there, one-on-one coverage right outside. He gets inside position with that big frame at 6'3", 208. And those 2 guys, Boyd and Matthews, really have learned how to use body position and those big bodies as receivers to gain an advantage.
Fowler's point after is through the uprights. He's now 6 out of 6 since taking over for Kerry Spear. And Boyd has 6 touchdown receptions, 19 catches on the year, and 6 of them have been for 6. Oh, a championship belt. Did he steal it from his brother Aaron?
Kara Capuano welcoming you back to Vanderbilt Stadium. Commodores just took a 14-0 lead over Kentucky all season long. Champion athletic wear proudly showcasing stadium traditions around the SEC, and it is senior day today at Vanderbilt. Head coach James Franklin greeting each of the 32 seniors. He's altering the tradition here. He's now honoring all 4th-year student athletes together. So some juniors were participating today, including quarterback Jordan Rogers. Many will come back and play next year. Visit Champion on Facebook. Show us your game face for a chance to be featured in a future broadcast. Champion, it's how you play. Dave?
Wants everybody to walk or be a part of senior day that came in with the same class. You signed and came in with, you know, that year with all your teammates, with the guys that came in that year. We're actually really stressing academics here at Vanderbilt.
Kerry Spear will kick it off. Little help from the wind, sails it through the back of the end zone. Let's go back to that last touchdown that got Vanderbilt their second TD of the game.
A good teaching point. We'll hold it right there. He's looking inside. A good teaching point for young quarterbacks. If you know where you're going with the football, look at the eyes of Jordan Rogers. He's looking inside at the safety. You see the head go outside now to Boyd. And then it's just body position, deliver the football, and you don't allow the safety to make a break on the football, either knock it down or pick it off if you're eyeing him down.
Jonathan George, he'll pick up 5 on the play out to the 25-yard line. That last drive, by the way, solid for Vanderbilt. 11 plays, 86 yards. And in that drive, Rogers was 3 out of 3, 57 yards.
Boy, you're in a position now if you're Joker Phillips and this Kentucky football team almost having a start to match points. It's early in the football game, but you start to feel the sense of urgency that you can't get too far down. Now down 2 scores to this Vanderbilt football team.
Boy, Jonathan George running hard. The sophomore from Lincoln, Alabama, picks up another 13 yards.
Right here, look right here. Freeze it. You see these 3 guys working on film. That's where it really pops off for you. The center, Max Smith, Larry Warford, who I think is their best offensive overall lineman, and Stuart Hines on the left side. Those guys do a nice job inside for Williams and George.
So Max Smith under center on a fresh set of downs for the Wildcats. Chased down by Rob Lohr. Gain of 2. When you look at this Kentucky running game, when you think about where they are, they've had some injuries in that department. Koshik Williams is the starter today. Ran for 100 yards last week. He was their third-team tailback to start the season.
Yeah, and a walk-on, Dave. The guy that Tavard Lindley showed his film to Coach Brooks, and they wanted to invite him in as a walk-on, and still not on scholarship yet, and now in his junior year, but he does some nice things in the running game.
Jonathan George is a guy trying to make a case to maybe get some more carries today as he's in the game now. Flags come down. So Joker's really had to deal with some injuries, and you know, the reason Maxwell Smith is playing is because Morgan Newton got hurt against Mississippi State.
Number 42 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, I tell you, the thing that when you watch Maxwell Smith on film and you start to compare him to Morgan Newton, the first thing that pops out is his ability to get the football out. They were giving up a tremendous amount of sacks early in the season. Smith gets the football out, Newton holds on to it a little bit longer.
So on second down, here's Smith. Throws it behind the receiver, Gene McCaskill. One thing I've noticed about Smith, though, Andre, he's throwing a lot of wobbly passes. Not many tight spirals today. Is that because of a guy maybe gripping the football too tight?
It's called pressure, big guy.
Yeah.
when you haven't completed very many, and at one point he was 1 for 5, maybe 1 for 6 in his last 6 passes. That old right hand starts to tighten up on the football just a little bit harder, and it doesn't come off naturally. It comes off with some wobble. Throwing into the wind, that can be a problem here in the second quarter.
Kentucky 0 for 4 on third downs today. Dropped back at the 25-yard line. A 9-yard loss. Walker May, the first of 3 gold jerseys back there.
Yeah, Fugger, Colt Nichter, and then the first guy to get there, Walker May. We talked about him. High energy player. His motor never stops, and then he's got a twin in that description on the other side of Fugger.
Time now for a look at our Haviland defensive shield. And you see Vanderbilt sitting in 3rd spot. Sacks among the conference leaders. LSU and Georgia 1 and 2. Here's Tidlatchka. End over end kick. That'll hit at the 50 and just kind of stop right there. Jonathan Krause needs to just get away from that football. 32-yard punt. Good field position for the Commodores. Up a couple of scores. 6:08 to go before halftime. Good look at Vanderbilt Stadium here on a cool, brisk afternoon in the Music City. 14-0 Vanderbilt out in front of the Wildcats. 2 teams trying to get to that 6-win mark. Of course, that means some postseason football. Here's Zach Stacy. Out to the 47. Give him 6 yards on that carry. Coming up on our C Spire halftime report. Of course, a very emotional day. State College with all that's been going on over the last week or so. We'll have an update from Penn State. Of course, South Carolina and Florida in the big SEC contest. Huge for the Gamecocks. And Oklahoma cruising along. Oklahoma State all over Texas Tech. Danny Trevathan on the coverage. Jordan Matthews, the intended target.
We like his ability to just buy a little bit of time, not take a sack, and then still get the football out. His arm strength enough. He's got enough arm strength. You see right here in his face, Taylor Wyndham. It looked like it hit the hand of Jordan Matthews.
Complete domination by the Commodores today. 192 yards. Rogers keeps it. Big hole. First down at the 47. Give him 6. Taylor Wyndham, defensive end, will get credit for that tackle.
Boy, I like what he did at the end right there. Protect himself. He's got enough for the first down. He did it earlier in the game as well in the first quarter. Saw Trevathan. I've gotten all I could get. Let me protect myself. And then he did it again there. Once he had the first down, get down, protect your body as a quarterback, because every white jersey on that other side wants to take a shot just because it's the quarterback.
First down and 10. Rodgers steps up in the pocket. That pass is caught by Jordan Matthews. He just stepped in front of 2 Wildcat defenders and said, "That's my football. I'll take it. Thank you very much." 28 yards.
Watch 87 right here. Get down the field. He wants the football right now. Hand goes up. Give it to me. Big guy like that, I trust him even in double coverage, because he's going to, one, out jump everybody. And then he catches the football with his hands, so he's always got a chance to make a play for you.
Last 2 games, you can add 3 more catches and 63 yards today for Jordan Matthews. First and 10. Batted in the air, loose football, and it'll fall to the ground. Second and 10 coming up. Christian Coleman, the freshman out of Milan, Tennessee, with the PBU, better known as a pass broken up.
Nice job there by Christian Coleman to get his hands up. You can't get there. The football's coming out fast. But now just get that big frame up in the air, and he times it just right. Boy, you talk about needing a stop and a small win right here. It's Kentucky defensively. Well, you got one-on-one again at the top.
Rodgers flushed out of the pocket, throws back, incomplete. Now you're looking at 3rd and 10.
They remember when Jordan Rodgers got to Vanderbilt, he was having some shoulder issues, had shoulder surgery, and I was watching him warm up, even going back to last season and then early in this season, and the ball just was not coming off where you were impressed, so to speak, with his arm strength and his ability to spin the football. Now, fast forward to where we are, and he looks like a totally different player. 1, from a confidence standpoint, and 2, physically. I think that shoulder's finally 100%.
9 of 16, 139 yards. A touchdown and a pick for Jordan Rodgers. Here's Zach Stacy. Zach inside the 10. He might have enough for the first down. I believe he does. Second effort, picks up 11. Luke McDermott hanging on for the stop.
Well, nice block by Josh Gillespie, the right guard. And this is how you read blocks. You see the butt of Gillespie right there? Just cut behind it. It tells me cut it inside. And Zach Stacy puts the foot in the ground, gets up the field north and south, and that allows him to pick up the first down. The butt's pointed outside. You just follow it. Go that way.
Here's Stacy working the left side. Powers his way into the end zone. Touchdown number 2 today for Zach Stacy.
Well, they go right to Gillespie again, number 69. And I've gone that way once. I had success. Let's follow him again. Pull him the other way right there. And a nice block on Randall Burton makes it easy for Zach Stacy.
Ryan Fowler with the point after. It is up and good. 21-0. Vanderbilt is in complete control.
Let's take one more look. They were going to pull Gillespie from the right guard position right around here, and you see him. Now I'm just going to follow him. Remember that rear end, it points out or inside. I'm following it. He cuts right behind it, and then an unhappy Joker Phillips. You kind of feel his pain going down, Dave. 21-0 with just under 3:50 here to play in the first half. Total dominance by Vanderbilt here in the first half.
Zach Stacy now 835 yards rushing this year with 2.5 games left to play. And Kentucky just in Shambles right now, trying to figure out a way to slow down this Vanderbilt offense that has produced a total of 245 yards of offense. Wow. There it is, 245 to 41. Vanderbilt, over the last 3 games, Andre, though, this shouldn't come as a surprise. They're averaging 456 yards of offense.
Young quarterback on the road 2 weeks in a row with Maxwell Smith, and they've run into a good football team. I know the record doesn't spell good football team at 4-5, but there have been some near misses by Vanderbilt with Georgia, Arkansas, and then last week against Florida. Could have gone either way in all 3 ball games, and this is a solid football team. And talking to James Franklin, this late playing this well, attributed it to being healthy at this point in the season, having to play young players when you really didn't want to spell the older guys and the starters to build some depth on this team, and they're healthy going down the stretch for the most part.
Bailey will field it at the goal line and then hit at the 22-yard line by Kenny Ladler. 23-yard return.
Dave, let's take a look at Maxwell Smith and his struggles today. As you mentioned, maybe gripping that football a little hard, and you see it coming out a little wobbly, and behind receiver Brian Adams. He's missing Lerod King to the left. Easy passes right in front of him to G. McCaskill, struggling, 1 of 6 in his last 6 passes, and a big difference from a week ago.
He put together his numbers from the past 2 weeks and didn't look like this. That's a loss of 9. T.J. Greenstone, who has been banged up the last month of the season, getting healthier and picks up the sack.
Yeah, he's really struggled with injuries the last couple of seasons, but he is a good, solid inside pass rusher. You see their arm under, and he never stops and allows the guard to get him off track. Started today for Colt Nichter after getting himself healthy enough to be back in the lineup.
Closing in on 3 minutes to play before halftime. Smith fires. That pass is caught at the 25-yard line by Lerod King. That's a gain of 8. Trey Wilson on the coverage. And a timeout taken by Vanderbilt. They'd like to get one more possession here before the break, as it'll be 3rd down and about 10 coming up.
And it falls right in line with my philosophy about the first half. You can never have too many points.
We'll take a timeout as Kentucky tries to figure out how to move down the football field here in Nashville. We'd like to recognize our friends at Allstate for their charitable contributions across the country. Since 2005, Allstate has donated more than $2.5 million through the Good Hands Field Goal Net program to benefit University General Scholarship funds. 3rd down and 10. I guess if you're Kentucky here, you want to keep moving the football, but you want to be careful.
Well, here comes the pressure. You see guys creeping in from here and the safety from up top.
Here's the blitz. Smith hit hard. Incomplete.
He expected the receiver to go to the post route, and he just kind of stayed vertical. Sean Richardson, a solid safety, able to get there and disrupt the rhythm of Maxwell Smith. And I don't know that he's really gotten himself into the same rhythm that he had a week ago against Ole Miss. And that's because of the job that Bob Shoop, the defensive coordinator for Vanderbilt's doing against the freshman quarterback today.
Tidlat's going to punt it away. Krause stands back at the 40-yard line. End over end kick again. Let's see if Krause, he'll just let it go. Time for us to get an update. Let's head to the studios, guys.
Guys, coming up on the C Spire halftime report, Matt Skinstrom will join me, Tom Luganbill, as we take a look at the emotional day in State College as Penn State faces off versus Nebraska. We've also got South Carolina facing off versus the Florida Gators in Columbia, and Oklahoma State is rolling in Lubbock over the Red Raiders. Catch it all at half with us here on the C Spire halftime report.
With two guys, two good ones breaking it down at halftime.
Yeah, big time.
Luganville, Matt Stinchcomb. Looking forward to that.
Here's Rogers trying to pick up the first down, and he does so.
How about the quarterback with a little stiff arm as he gets himself out of bounds? I like it. Heads up, headsy play, fighting to get to the sideline where you save a timeout and you get yourself out of bounds to stop the clock. Randall Burton right there, a little stiff arm. Picking up the first down as well, I think. Yeah, at 15 on.
First down.
Didn't see the flag. It was actually over there on the Kentucky bench amongst all the Wildcat players, so we never saw it, but a late hit.
I think it was a shove at the end of it on Jordan Rogers right here. Then he gets the shove by Burton, who he's got 1 foot out of bounds. I don't know about that one, Dave. I'm just making sure he gets out of bounds. The guy didn't go down. Hold on to the flag there.
That's the second time today Kentucky's been hit with a personal foul late hit. The first down and 10 inside the 30. Here's Zach Stacy. Zach still on his feet down to the 22-yard line, and they'll blow the whistle dead back at the 22, give him 7 yards. There are 2 timeouts remaining for Vanderbilt. Clock just now approaching 2 minutes to go.
Boy, look at the block of Wesley Johnson. Remember my point, following the rear end of a guy pulling. Freeze it right here. You see 67. Watch him. He's going to curl inside. And that's going to take Stacy outside. See his rear end pointing towards the sideline? Now that tells me as a running back, get outside of him because he's trying to pin the defender inside. Oh, what a nice block or nice job of reading blocks.
Zach Stacy needed to get down close to the 18-yard line for the first down. I don't think he got there. Mark Crawford and Martavius Nellums in on that tackle for the Wildcats. That'll bring up a 3rd down and short.
Well, the way they're running the football, just running it the way they want to and making Kentucky like it right now.
Boy, Zach Stacy, 88 yards on the ground. You can add a couple of more. Bounces it. He'll have the first down. They'll spot it to 17. That'll stop the clock for a moment. But Winston Guy back at midfield, slow to get up.
Well, I think Stacy needs a break. He looked a little tired, a little slower than previous downs. He may have had the wind knocked out of him there.
Zach Stacy slow to get up as well. 2 key players for both these clubs.
Well, I really enjoyed our visit with him yesterday and talked about some family things and just about how he goes about his business here on campus at Vanderbilt. And Winston Guy can't get himself back into this game. That's a huge loss for Kentucky defensively. Well, watch right here, Winston Guy off the edge, and they'll line him up in a lot of different places. And it looks like a leg just really buckled.
Yeah, it was kind of nothing violent about that.
Play that, you know, hopefully he'll be okay and get himself back into this football game. Second in the SEC in tackles to his teammate Danny Trevathan.
I think you hit the nail on the head here with Zach Stacy, and it just looked like the wind got knocked out of him.
A little tired as well. Didn't have quite the explosion on that last carry, but just enough to pick up the first down.
Has 90 yards today. He has 18 carries in the first half.
Kentucky has 18 all day running the football.
Speaking of 18, here is Seymour, number 18. He'll pick up 3. Danny Trevathan with tackle number 5 for the Wildcats. That'll timeout taken by Kentucky. Or excuse me, by Vanderbilt. That'll be number 2 with 54 seconds left. Next week, we'll have a chance to head up to Athens, Georgia. Beautiful setting at Sanford Stadium as the 15th ranked Bulldogs will play host to this Kentucky team. Aaron Murray on a roll. 23 touchdown passes, leads the conference. Exciting game last year. The last time they were in Athens back in 2009. It'll all get started at noon Eastern right here on the SEC Network.
I think he's really found his way as a quarterback. The guy right now, Georgia, has ripped off a bunch of consecutive wins.
7.
Playing with a lot of confidence.
You know, we were talking about quarterbacks. There's really only 3 teams in the league that have had
haven't made a change.
They have gone with their starter all year. Georgia's one of them.
Whether injury or performance based, Georgia's one of them. That one of the 3 that have not made that change. Even number 1 ranked LSU has played 2 quarterbacks, Jarrett Lee and Jordan Jefferson.
Time now for a look at our C Spire conference call, and LSU in the driver's seat to win the Western Division with their big win over Alabama last weekend, and Georgia, they control their own destiny.
And Arkansas still they've got something to say. It's long from being over for the Razorbacks as they get LSU head-to-head in the final game of the season.
Zach Stacy back in at tailback. Winston Guy back on the field as well for Kentucky. Boy, the Wildcats just ate it up right there. Nothing happening for Zach Stacy. Antoine Glenn led the way. And now Vanderbilt will take their 3rd and final timeout.
Boy, I like there on that down and distance 2nd down earlier in this drive, right just inside the red zone. They formation Kentucky to get one-on-one coverage on the outside with Matthews. They go right back to that, either he or Boyd, and it's there. I liked it on 2nd down better than 3rd because you're alerting, or you pretty much are in a passing situation on 3rd and 8 to keep this drive going. So you still have the element of surprise had it been 2nd down. Right now, if you're James Franklin, you're telling Jordan Rodgers, don't force the football. You've been in this situation once. He threw the interception. Take your time, read things out. If it's not there, throw it away. Let's kick a field goal and get some points.
He already has 1 pick in the red zone today. Does Jordan Rodgers. Threw it right to Randall Burton on the goal line. See what they do here on 3rd down and 8 with 51 seconds to go and no timeouts remaining for the Commodores.
Right there, that's what I'm talking about. Man to man on the outside.
They'll go the other way. Wesley Tate drops the football, and he's dropped at the 6-yard line. So here comes the Vanderbilt field goal team. Boy, Avery Williamson just laid the boom on Wesley Tate.
It's not a game for the faint at heart. Listen to that. That's what you miss as a player. Hearing the pads clap together, you love it, man. Love it.
32-yard field goal attempt from Ryan Fowler from the right hash. The kick is on the way. It splits the uprights. So Vanderbilt adds 3 more. And boy,
big Kyle Fisher
a little upset down there. Right tackle out of Columbia, South Carolina. Didn't like what happened, but he'll take the 3 points.
Usually he's a team captain, usually a guy that can keep his emotions in check, and somebody's playing dirty for Kentucky, maybe slipping a hand under that face mask, because that's what big guys usually get themselves upset about.
Let's check in with Kara.
Guys, right before the game, I actually saw Kyle Fisher talking to the offensive line crew, and he said something I never thought I'd hear at Vanderbilt. He said, "We have a reputation to defend. Give it your all today, guys." And that's the new attitude that Vanderbilt has. Their reputation is that they're tough to beat at home, and they've been dominating on offense in this first half.
Boy, and Herb Hand, that's a guy right there I really like as a coach, trying to settle his guy down. You see him give the jump and a chest bump just to get his mind away from what just happened on the field and refocused for when he takes the field again. I like Herb Hand, not only as a person, but he is a heck of a coach.
Holdover from the last staff as well. Came last year to Vanderbilt. Was part of that Tulsa high-powered offensive staff.
Yeah.
Came to Vanderbilt last year, and then, of course, the coaching change. And he was the lone holdover from that group.
Good ones tend to stick around, and you want to keep them in place. Herb Hand certainly that way, and James Franklin recognized it, kept him as his offensive line coach.
This kick taken by Bailey. Bailey is crushed. The ball comes free. Vanderbilt has it. They'll mark him down at the 13-yard line. A huge hit.
This is why you don't jump in a crowded area.
Stephen Clark just laid out Michael Bailey. Excuse me.
This is why right here you don't jump, and it's, I think it may be actually Archibald Barnes.
You're right, the fumble by Clark, but it was Barnes with the hit.
Well, watch here, just leaving yourself exposed, helmet right on the football of Michael Bailey, and I said you can't have too many points in the first half. Let's go get some more if you're Vanderbilt offensively. No timeouts, so you're smart with the football if you're Jordan Rodgers and you're throwing to the end zone.
Huge hit by Archie Barnes. Rodgers throws. Well, it looked like some contact before the ball got there, but
a good placement, though, with the football outside to Matthews, working against Anthony Mosley, where it's going to be Matthews or the ball's going over his head. And I like it. High and outside. You got 6'3" and 6'3", and Jordan and Boyd working outside. Now they got to come down here. Near sideline. It's a little bit shorter throw. It's quicker. And now he's lined Matthews up to this side. Now you got to make sure you hold the safety inside with your eyes.
Rodgers scrambling, chased by Guy. He's to the 10. No timeouts remaining. He's shy of the first down.
He's got to hurry. I think
he's got to ground the football.
That he's got the first down. He doesn't. He's got his guys set.
Needs to ground it. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Can they get it off? No, they can't. Clock says zeros, and that could do it for the half. Kentucky's going to run into the locker room.
Well, that's a teaching point right there. If you're Jordan Rodgers, get out of bounds. If he steps out of bounds, not only does he stop the clock, you're not rushing, but fine performance nonetheless, Dave, by this Vanderbilt football team. Watch the clock, and it's rolling down. Without the football being snapped, it's snapped right there, and by the time the ball hits the ground, the clock is already on its way to zero. Nice call by the official.
Half is over, but a good half nonetheless for the Commodores. 24 points in that first half. Rodgers throws for a touchdown. Zach Stacy, 19 carries, 88 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Let's go to Kara.
An opportunity there to talk to Aaron Rodgers after that last play. What did you tell him?
Jordan Rodgers, yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. Well, right there, great opportunity for learning for our team. He either has to get the first down or he's got to run out of bounds. We talk about it all the time. He thought he got the first. We tried to clock it. Didn't work.
What's going to be the message to the team of the half?
0-0. Come out, win the second half, you win the game.
We've heard that before. Thanks, Coach.
Right. Thank you.
Yes, it is Jordan Rodgers, Dave. Gosh, what an awful mistake.
Well, you know, if you look at him, Kara, eye to eye, or you see his facial point, he looks just like Aaron Rodgers.
All right, good half. 24-0 for the Commodores. Time for us to go to the studios. Tom Luginbill, Matt Stinchcomb. Guys,
welcome to the C Spire halftime report. Tom Luginbill alongside Matt Stinchcomb. We'll have more SEC action for you.
Recap has been brought to you by Groove Caulk by GE. It is all Commodores. 24 zip. Could have been worse if you're a Kentucky fan, but if you're a Vandy fan, you got to be enthused. Your team just racked up 278 yards of offense, and you held Kentucky to 41. I don't know that I have seen Vanderbilt. We were here when they beat Ole Miss and had them down 30-0. Ended up winning 30-7. But I don't know if I've seen a Vanderbilt team dominate somebody like this before.
Yeah, especially in the running game. Zach Stacy basically having his way in the first half of this one. But you look at some mistakes early with Kentucky. Missed snap, basically a turnover, and then a nice run by Zach Stacy to get himself into the end zone. Then been swarming defensively. Chris Marr playing sideline to sideline. Guys like T.J. Greenstone, Walker May getting to the quarterback, and then Archibald Barnes creating another turnover on special teams. You go to the stats, 6 of 10 on third downs for Vanderbilt. That's the story in the first half. You can move the football the way they have.
First half stats brought to you by Crystal. Nothing like it. 19 first downs for the Commodores.
They're playing 6 quarters now. That must be a special teams play, where they want the football to go.
Looking for the 6th win, maybe. They got to pick up 2 to get there.
Yep.
Line drive kick. That'll sail out of the end zone. And Kentucky will have it at the 20-yard line. The Wildcats on the ground. And this is one of the stats they need to change in college football. But sacks go against your rush total. But good first half for Jonathan George. He had 4 carries, 37 yards. Koshik Williams, 6 carries, 19 yards.
See, I like that. I don't take away from my passing yards. I don't care about rushing totals. You're a passing quarterback. Who cares? Just don't take them off my pass number.
Smith, little rollout. Pass is caught by Nick Melillo, the tight end, and that's a big gainer by the Wildcats. Gain of 25. Let's check in with Kerry. Had a chance to talk with Joker Phillips out of the locker room.
Andre, like you, Kentucky's head coach was focused on those third downs. Ofer on offense, allowed 6 on defense. He told us Wednesday the key to Kentucky's recent success, extended offensive drives to keep the defense fresh.
Handoff left side, Jonathan George. Casey Hayward will trip him up.
And that's where they've had problems, Dave, stringing together long drives that end in points. And in order to do that, you've got to convert an enormous amount of third down situations, third and shorts to be ideal, and unable to do so through the first half of this game. Kentucky having problems in that area.
Vanderbilt goes with their nickel package defensively on 2nd down and 8. Smith over the middle, pass through the hands and incomplete.
Guess who?
Matt Rourke. And then some flags come in late on the near side.
Yeah, you got a struggling quarterback. Matt Rourke is a guy that had some problems earlier in the year with holding on to the football, drops to be exact, and thought he'd gotten himself well past that in the last few weeks.
After the play, personal foul. Number 70 of the offense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. 3rd down.
Well, Stuart Hines, the captain of this team, hit with a personal foul penalty. But over the middle, you're watching Matt Rourke, and you're just going to set up in zone coverage, give the quarterback the numbers. Now you got to catch that one, hit you in the hands, maybe a little high, but very, very catchable football. Catch it, put it away, and then pick up the yardage. You know you're going to get hit. You might as well catch it.
5 penalties, 55 yards. That's 3 personal foul penalties against Kentucky. There's Rourke, just on cue. Expected to hit, got hit, held on. Gain of 10.
I like it. Maxwell Smith comes right back to Matt Rourke. And showing the confidence in him to hold on to the football, goes right back to a guy that just dropped it. I feel the same way about running backs that fumble. Once you get the football back, go back and restore some confidence in that player.
Not enough, nearly enough for the first down. On 4th down, here is Ryan Tidlachka. Jonathan Krause back at the 20-yard line. Wobbly kick. Krause will field it, and he'll lose a couple of yards. Back to the 25-yard line. Commodores will have the football. First possession of the second half. They're up 24. Back in a moment. Students having a good time here at Vanderbilt Stadium as their club is up 24-zip. First possession of the second half for the Commodore offense. And has put together a nice 278-yard day to this point. Zach Stacy takes the snap, throws it back to Jordan Rogers, and that didn't work. Time for us to go back to the studios, check in with Tom, get an update. Tom.
Well, I kicked Tom out. It's Dory back in here in our SEC Network studios, guys. Nebraska, Penn State, 10-zip Huskers. Taylor Martinez on the way down pitches to Rex Burkhead. It is 17-zip Big Red at Penn State. Call me Tom.
Well, when they said Tom earlier today, Dari, I wasn't sure.
In fairness, he's a little missing. We didn't know. Darting in and out of there so much.
Glad to have you back, Dari. Although Zach Stacy hit by Taylor Wyndham, picks up just a yard.
Having success on first down had really been the story for Vanderbilt. Then they come out in your favorite formation when the Wildcat with Stacy at quarterback and throw the football, which kind of puts you behind or puts you off schedule, and now you end up in third down and long. You like that Wildcat formation, don't you?
Don't put me on the spot. Looks like Christian Johnson might have been the person we shall see in a moment. As a discussion, Matt Moore and his crew.
One of the better crews in the Southeastern Conference. Matt Moore, excellent official.
Let's see if it was Christian Coleman or not.
On the defense, number 92 entered the neutral zone, causing the offense to react. Third down.
I mean, you can really gain an advantage if you could utilize the hard count. And there's the Commodore first half drives today. You see a lot of points, and then halftime actually should have added some more, at least a field goal in that final drive.
All 6 possessions ventured into the red zone. On third down, here's Rodgers. Big open field tackle by Winston Guy. That's why we talk about him. That is just a football player making an unbelievable play. I mean, this guy is just solid.
But it's why you play north and south as well. Right here, nice job of eluding their pass rush and the blitz. But right there, you get up the field as opposed to bubbling outside. You got a chance to dive for a first down. You're going to take some contact. But boy, you sure motivate and get those big guys up front fired up if you're diving and you convert a first down.
6 tackles for Guy. As here is Richard Kent to punt it away.
Nice punt.
Seems McCaskill back near the 15-yard line. A 51-yard punt from Richard Kent. So Kentucky will have it for the second time here in the second half. They're down 24. Thank you, Dari.
A fine performance by Logan Thomas the other night. Big, strong quarterback. Really reminds you a lot of Cam Newton, size-wise, and the way they've used him this year at Virginia Tech.
Setting up Virginia Tech nicely for a trip to the ACC title game. Koshik Williams in at tailback. Protection holds up. Pass is caught by Malillo out at the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 9. Andre Howe with the stop, but good execution by the Cats on that throw and catch.
Yeah, Malillo started his career as a wide receiver, moved to tight end a couple of seasons ago, and he's made a nice transition to the tight end position.
A couple of catches today from Malillo. Cats will go back to the ground. Gain of a yard. That'll be close to the first down. The marker's right at the 32. Archibald Barnes with that tackle.
Boy, Kentucky really has struggled offensively today. And you see there, just averaging 280 a game, and it's been all season when you look at the numbers and compare them to a year ago. But today, just 86 yards of total offense. 0 for 7, Dave, on third downs in this ball game.
This is a team that averages 280 yards a game, which is 117th out of 120 teams in FBS football.
False start. Number 52 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Yeah, big Billy Joe Murphy, who is a guy with a lot of experience up front, just flinches and turns a short third down situation into a little tougher, manageable, or tougher to manage situation on 3rd down and 5.
This is the kind of day it's been. Kentucky came in as the 3rd least penalized team in the country. And today they have racked up now 7 penalties for 64 yards.
They're showing blitz right here.
Here comes the pressure. Smith gets it off. Threw it high to Adams, who got leveled. Incomplete. Javon Marshall with the hit for the Commodores, and that'll bring up a punting situation.
You know, when you go to the sideline, if you're Brian Adams, you sit next to Maxwell Smith and just casually whisper, "Don't throw me that thing that high," because he got leveled by Javon Marshall, and he's had a couple of hits in this game, and you see an ex-quarterback, ex-University of Kentucky quarterback, Andre Woodson, telling him, "Look, that's a shot that's got to be on the line between the corner and a safety, and it's got to be humming."
Fake punt. Here's Rourke. Takes it off the left side. First down, Kentucky at the 43. They'll keep the drive alive. Trey Wilson brings him down, but not before Rourke picks up 16 yards.
Well, reaching in his bag of tricks, Joker Phillips trying to light a fire under his football team. And a nice job by Matt Rourke getting north and south. Direct snap to the up back, Matt Rourke. You see here, nice job of cutting off the block there and then picking up the first down.
Williams, big hit. Marshall lays it on Koshik Williams. And boy, Marshall is slow to get up.
He's playing, you see the shoulder harness there, and reaching right around that shoulder area is Javon Marshall.
That was another big collision by Javon Marshall.
Well, he came up nasty to hit Koshik Williams, and that helmet right on the shoulder of Javon Marshall.
How about Koshik bouncing off that hit as well?
Well, if you can move and turn at the right period of time, you could absorb the blow.
Well, we'll step aside for a moment and take a timeout. 8:41 to go in the 3rd. Time now for a look at SEC Greats, brought to you by Regions Bank. Don't miss your chance to hang out with SEC Greats this season on the Regions SEC Tour. And we just saw a moment ago on the sidelines Mr. Andre Woodson, who quarterbacked the Wildcats from 2005 through 2007. 79 career touchdown passes, a school record. Now a student assistant with the Cats.
Good. I really enjoyed watching him play at Kentucky. Kind of got that whole thing started. Had a fine season under Rich Brooks as their head coach, and good football player.
Here's Max Smith, throws, hits Lerod King. First down at the 44 of Vanderbilt.
And now you're starting to see Maxwell Smith get some rhythm. And he's hit a couple of passes to Malello, the tight end, now to Lerod King. Hit Matt Rourke. And starting to spread the football around. Looks like he's got his footing under him now.
Here's Williams. A couple of yards before Chris Marr picks up tackle number 6 today.
What an interesting story on Koshik Williams. He was a wing T fullback in high school, and most of the time that player gets the football. He only goes 5'9", about 178 pounds, and that's his junior year in college. So you had to figure he was lighter than that playing in the wing T at fullback. Not ideal, but walked on at Kentucky and now has earned his right to start on this football team. Smith
Smith drop. Tim Fugger Tim Fugger has 24 tackles on the year, 12 of them behind the line of scrimmage, and he just picked up his 6th sack of the year. That's a loss of 7.
Man, this is a guy that can run 800 meters, just an athlete. He can play on the next level, whether it's a 4-3 and you line him up at end, or in a 3-4 and make him an outside linebacker that can drop and rush off the edge. I really think he's going to play on Sundays. One of my favorite players in all of the SEC.
Great conversation with him yesterday in the football offices. The young man was a track athlete in high school, ran a 10.8 100 meters. Incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down.
Well, that's where I mentioned earlier in the football game that you play a Bob Shoop defense, and he's going to make a young quarterback like Maxwell Smith think a lot. They can get pressure with the front 4, and now you can do a lot of tricks on the back end with mixing coverages, making it seem like one thing that you're seeing, and then at the snap of the ball, it's something totally different. And you have to go through your reads and progressions as that young quarterback in order to be effective in the passing game.
Favorable roll for the Cats inside the 10 down to the 7-yard line. 42-yard punt. Nothing pretty about it, but Tidlatska will take it. McAllister's Deli is giving 2 lucky guests each a Jeep Wrangler. Visit us on Facebook.com/TFreaks for official rules, entry forms, and great weekly tailgate prizes. Visit Facebook.com/TFreaks, and you could be a big game winner.
I think it's even breezier now when we kick this football game off.
Here's how you know it's getting cold. When our spotter, Kim Anderson, has to go to the
coach,
you know it's cold. My man's we've been in many stadiums over the last 15 years where it's been below freezing, and he's wearing his shirt sleeves. 1st and 10 at the 7. Jordan Rogers. Pass complete. That'll go to Jordan Matthews. Ronnie Sneed with his 5th tackle.
When Jordan Rogers came out for warm-up and he had his helmet off, I had to do a double take because I thought he was Aaron Rodgers in disguise. It's amazing how much they resemble one another. No doubt when you look at them that they're brothers.
Zach Stacy close to the 1st down. He's driving the pile. He definitely has the 1st down. Out over the 20-yard line. Zach Stacy will give the Commodores a 1st down at the 20, close to the 21-yard line. Today's 1st and 10 line brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, moving forward.
Boy, Todd Manhennett, our producer today, doing a fine job subbing in for our normal producer Steve Melton, who's homesick today. Best wishes, big guy. Get yourself better and back to work.
Rogers going to work. Looking for Krause on the far side, and a flag comes in. Randall Bird may have just grabbed a jersey right before the ball got there.
Well, just at the tail end of it, he's going to grab, and Joker Phillips wondering why. He's their best cover guy, but Jonathan Krause is the fastest receiver of the 3 between Boyd, Matthews, and himself, so he's the actual vertical threat.
Number 24 of the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
And the other 3, he can lull you to sleep, and you see right there, reaching out, grabbing the shoulder pad. And the official, they're going to call that every time. And I'm still under the belief that that should be changed to a spot foul.
Remember, 3rd best in the country in terms of not being penalized, but today 79 yards. Boy, they have given Vanderbilt.
Yeah, that hidden yardage, and it's really starting to show up in this football game.
Rogers looking for Boyd. And another flag comes in. Randall Burden again on the coverage. Is it him?
Well, they're picking on Burden right now, and it's film study when a guy's being thrown at that much. And you got to try to turn around and make a play on the football.
Number 24 of the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Never really looks back and then engages with a receiver as Matthews is trying to make a play. And you see there just reaching and grabbing right into his chest as the ball's being thrown. And if he just turns and tries to make a play on the football, I don't think that's even called. But you can't hit the receiver once he's past 5 yards down the field, clearly into his chest before.
Here goes Krause in motion. Seymour, maybe a yard when it's all said and done. Antoine Glenn in on that tackle, and you know, if nothing else, Vanderbilt's just chewing up some clock here. We go under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
That makes it tough because, you know, now every possession when Kentucky has the football, they've got to be thinking points, and it's been a struggle so far.
Rogers throws, looking for the tight end, Austin Monahan. He loses the football, incomplete. Big hit from Nellums.
Look as well thrown football across his body. And Nellums is the guy that really disrupts things coming in. Mikey Benton there contributing as well as a guy that really gets an arm on the football and dislodges it. Otherwise, it's going to be a nice catch by Monahan. He tucks it away and gets both hands on it. I think it's a catch.
Third down. Trying to set up a little receiver screen. Here's Matthews. Breaks some tackles. Jordan Matthews will take it 49 yards. Touchdown, Vandy.
He's a relative, a cousin of Jerry Rice. And I don't know that Jerry Rice had that kind of explosion and speed to run away from defense. You never catch him. But boy, Jordan Matthews really showed me something there, a gear that I didn't know he had. Jerry had great football speed, though. Don't get that one twisted.
5 catches, 118 yards now for Jordan Matthews as the point after is up and good.
Nice screen here, and what I like is how Jordan Rogers leads his receiver Jordan Matthews, basically takes him up the field with the throw, and then now it's just athletic ability when, you know, after you get your hands on the football. Here it is. Let's take a look. He leads him with this throw to turn him up the field where he never really has to break stride, and he gets back outside to pick up a couple of blocks. Brandon Barton, the tight end, throwing a nice block, a couple of missed tackles, and he knows once the big guy gets going north and south, it's on.
How about these numbers for Jordan Matthews now? In the last 2.5 games, 20 catches, 439 yards.
That's a production. I'd throw to him too, I think, Dave. I'd give him a few opportunities.
There's Randall Burton. He's a man that was guilty of 2 pass interference calls on that drive that ended up going 93 yards. And officially only 5 plays because of the penalty yardage that was built in. In 2.5 minutes, 49-yard catch and run. Jordan Matthews, a touchdown reception in each of the last 4 games to end the season in 2010.
Well, it was Boyd who really started the season on fire. His first 3 receptions, all 3 went for touchdowns, and then it kind of created a little competition at the wide receiver position, and it's been Matthews of late.
Here's Bailey. 21-yard return. Take a look at our game summary, brought to you by Woodman of the World, and it has been all Vanderbilt. Zach Stacy just shy of another 100-yard performance today. Jordan Matthews goes up over 100 yards receiving today, and penalties have been a big issue for Kentucky. 94 yards they have been penalized. It was 31-0.
Remember Arkansas coming in here a few weeks ago? Did the same thing to Arkansas.
Out of the backfield, Williams to the 30-yard line. Let's get an update from Kara.
Guys, just to finish up on the toughness of the receivers, James Franklin told us that he and this new strength coach, Dwight Gall, would do a period where they would grab face masks, punch the guys in the ribs and hang on them, and then make them catch balls thrown by the jugs machine. So they've been developing that receiver, Moxie.
I remember coached when he was at Maryland, Darius Hayward Bay brought the strength coach from Maryland along with him here to Vanderbilt. The big tight end as well that plays for the San Francisco 49ers. Well, those guys were developed under that strength coach, and he brought that kind of guidance here to Vanderbilt. And they've been healthier than they have in a lot of years this late in the season.
Williams nowhere to run off the right side on third and about 1.5 yards. Needed to get out over the 30, almost to the 31-yard line. They'll spot it at the 29.5, and it's 4th down.
And you got to go for it. I mean, down 31 Love. This is tough. I think you just go with a hard count. You still have the 4th quarter. I don't know that you go for it here. You don't pick it up. You're basically saying game Vanderbilt.
Kentucky, after that last failure, 0 for 10 on 3rd downs. They're 2 out of 3 on 4th, though. Going up top, looking for King. Makes the catch. LeRod King still on his feet. Spins out of trouble. He's down to the 24-yard line. On 4th down, he picks up 47 yards.
Not the highest percentage in terms of where you throw the football here, but he throws it just where LeRod King can make a play. And right over the top of Stephen Clark, the corner. Now it's just a little athletic ability, spinning away from defenders to pick up that 47 that you mentioned, Dave.
Right through the hands. An intended target. And, you know, this is only, Andre, the 3rd time today that Kentucky has been inside Vanderbilt territory with the football. Today's 1st and 10 line brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, moving forward. Jonathan George in at tailback now. He'll block as the pass gets thrown to the outside. Gene McCaskill breaking some tackles. He's inside the 10. A flag comes down at the 12-yard line.
Well, this could be a block in the back. Rod King trying to help Gene McCaskill out, and that flag comes back, and you talk about hurt. This one's going to go back and really make things harder to convert on 1st down.
Block back. Number 10 of the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 2nd down.
And there's no 10. He meant 16, which is LeRod King. You'll see right here working against Sean Richardson. There's the block right there. And just enough to where it draws the attention of the official.
2nd down. Spot foul, however, so they'll back it up to the 22-yard line. 2nd down and 10. Deep over the middle. Melillo, touchdown. 22 yards out.
Hey, when you go over the middle with the football, it has to be timed just right when teams are in zone coverage or man, and you want to squeeze the football in between the safeties. If you're late, you usually pay, and this is about as well timed as you can be from Maxwell Smith with the ball. Tight end clears, the ball is in the air, and it's thrown in the middle. Thrown behind him, and it gives Archibald Barnes a chance to put a hand on it or a safety on the back end to make a play, but he's led away from the defenders.
First touchdown reception of the year for Melillo as Kentucky lines up to go for 2. And they get it. Matt Rourke holds on after the big hit.
Same type of pass. You wait, your receiver bends out a little bit, and as soon as he starts to straighten up, that's the alert you need as a quarterback. The ball needs to be in the air, and it allows a receiver to just run through the football.
31-8 our score, 1:41 to go in the third quarter. Give us a chance to talk to our Heisman Trophy winner about his thoughts on the upcoming Heisman Trophy Award at the end of the year. And you've kind of nailed it down to two guys.
Yeah, I think it's really a two-man race at this point. Andrew Luck got a tough one tonight against Oregon. Not to say that any Heisman winner's got to go undefeated in order to win the award. It's just how he looks against the Ducks and throwing for a high percentage. And then still, Trent Richardson's still there, even though the game wasn't ideal last week against LSU.
Well, look at our Nissan Heisman moment. Of course, when you talk about Stanford winning the Heisman, Jim Plunkett, the only other Stanford player to win it back in 1968 and 70. And then Mark Ingram, the only Alabama player to have won the Heisman Trophy. Of course, single season scoring record, rush yards as well. And apparently, according to my guy, Andre Ware, one of those two schools will now have two Heisman Trophy winners when it's all said and done.
In Alabama, Trent Richardson can get himself right back in it, playing a scrappy Mississippi State football team today. Needs a nice performance in that game.
Andre Howell about a yard deep in the end zone. Howell bounces off his own man and gets to the 27-yard line. Good return from Andre Howell.
Runs right into Jamison Sackey, a reserve wide receiver playing on special teams. Otherwise, I think Hal's got a few more yards in that on that carry.
That last drive by Kentucky, by the way, 79 yards.
Well, you know what you do now if you're Jordan Rodgers? You go answer with points and make it even tougher to catch up as time not on the side of the Kentucky Wildcats right now.
31-8 our score. Closing in on the end of the third quarter. Some pressure from the outside. Alvin Dupree, the true freshman out of Irwinton, Georgia, picks up the second Kentucky sack of the day. Loss of 8.
We're talking to get some people close to the Kentucky football program. Alvin Dupree is everything you want in a linebacker. He's playing for Ridge Wilson today, who's sitting this one out with a shoulder injury, but he passes the test when you get off the bus. He looks the part at 6'4", about 230, and he's a good-looking player that just needs experience.
Rodgers, pitch. Kentucky ate it up. Martavius Nellums, loss of 4.
Well, Dave, if somebody punched the button at halftime for Kentucky, because all of a sudden, now they're showing up defensively. Rick Minter's defense finally making some plays for negative yards, and that's going to give your offense a chance, if you can get off the field here on third down, to have great field position and get another quick score here heading into the fourth quarter.
Last week against Ole Miss, Kentucky had a season-high 10 tackles for loss. Back-to-back tackles behind the line on this drive. Make it 3 in a row. Collins Ukwu, the defensive end, the junior, another loss. This time only a yard.
Well, he's a speed player as well. Good-looking athlete. Junior at 6'5", about 260. Making plays. Here comes Kentucky. Long way from being over, but Vandy leads it 31.
Heading into the fourth quarter here at Vanderbilt Stadium, Kara Capuano welcoming you back. History being made in this matchup today. First ever between SEC head coaches that are both African American. Joker Phillips said he never thought about it until he was asked about it this week, pointing out a lot of change since he joined the SEC as a player in 1981. But he pointed out a lot has also changed in the world. Never imagined taking pictures with his phone. Similarly, Vanderbilt head coach James Franklin said he takes pride in the significance of this, but he looks forward to when it's not a discussion point and when it's more about hiring the best person for the job. Dave?
Thanks, Carrie. We'll have more on that story. There's a lot of connections, a lot of parts to this story. As Kent punts it away, and it'll hit a Vanderbilt player back at the 46-yard line, so they'll go back and mark it there. So good field position for Kentucky. But part of that history is Kentucky actually was the first school to play an African-American player at Northington back in 1967. Of course, Sylvester Croom, former Mississippi State head coach, was the first African-American head coach in the Southeastern Conference. And my partner, Andre Ware, was the first African-American quarterback to win a Heisman Trophy as well. So a lot of moving parts and stuff, and just good to be a part of history.
Yeah, and I was a part of Sylvester Croom's first game at Mississippi State that he coached. Been the first African-American head coach in the SEC, and then it gave me a great deal of pride being the first to win the Heisman as a quarterback, and shortly after Charlie Ward came along. But it gives you a sense of pride in which where you feel like you're opening enough doors for others that follow you. And like I mentioned, Charlie came along a couple of years after myself. So you're laying the foundation, so to speak. And I agree with James Franklin. Long for the day when it's not even in the conversation that, you know, you just recognize as coaches coaching a football game.
Pass by Melillo is caught. Vanderbilt, by the way, one last side note to this. Vanderbilt was the Perry Wallace played basketball here. He was the first African-American basketball player in the Southeastern Conference.
Well, they looked good last night, didn't they?
Yeah,
Against Oregon, good. I think it's going to be a nice run in basketball-wise for this Commodore athletic program. They've got, I think, they're ranked number 7th in the country, and played a good Oregon team last night and just kind of had their way.
Third down coming up for the Cats.
Oh, watch Archibald Barnes right in the middle of that formation. He's trying to disguise blitzing, backing out now. But here he comes.
Archibald Barnes. Loss of 8.
Well, you disguise it and time it up just right. Watch the center and the guards kind of split and give him an area in which he kind of times it just right. They split, and here he comes outside of the guard to make the play.
On 4th down, Kenny Ladler with an excellent pass broken up. He got his left hand in there on Nick Melillo and batted the ball away.
Boy, Ladler's really known as a playmaker on the back end, and he'll just flat out knock you out. And a player's young guy, he arrived early in January of his freshman year, and coaches really recognized his athletic ability at 6'1", 205 with excellent range, and I think he showed it to you right there on that play.
So Vanderbilt will have the football near midfield. First down and 10. Their last drive, they had 3 plays, and I think they lost 13 yards when it was all said and done. This time Zach Stacy carries the pile 7 yards to the 45 of Kentucky. Ronnie Sneed with the tackle from that middle backer spot. The SEC Network Game of the Week. 2 clubs trying to get closer to that 6-win plateau, making them bowl eligible. Dave Neal, Andre Ware, Kara Capuano's down on the sidelines. And Vanderbilt and Kentucky both 4 and 5 on the year. Different 4 and 5s, if you will. Vanderbilt's had ample opportunities to pick up some wins. They just haven't been able to close the deal. They got off to a 3-0 start, did the Commodores, but obviously since then it has been an uphill battle.
We got into the meat of that schedule, Dave, and kind of going forward, and I felt like the team that won this football game certainly would have a leg up in getting themselves bowl eligible. And how they finish the season with what's left. You know, Kentucky, we've talked about that, documented Georgia, and then finishing the season with Tennessee. And then Vanderbilt. And we'll get into how they finish the season right after the measurement.
And Vanderbilt's got a tough season finale.
Wake Forest at the tail end of that one.
And Wake Forest is a team that was beating Clemson the last time I looked. And that's close. Let's see what Matt Moore, he'll say it's a couple of inches shy the first down. But here's a look at the Vanderbilt schedule, and I think it may come down. Boy, how about that last game at Wake Forest? When they scheduled this home series with Wake Forest, a nice round of games. I think it was a 4-year deal with the Demon Deacons. It seems like Wake Forest has just gotten better and better each year. Wake Forest ends up beating Clemson 28-21. They got about 5:55 to go in that one in the fourth quarter. So.
And Jim Grove does an outstanding job. So that made this football game even more important. You play in your in-state rival game against Tennessee next week, and that's an important one to get if you're Vanderbilt.
First down with the Commodores. Let's check in with Dari in the studios for an update. Dari.
All right, guys, that's a good idea because I have something for you. Florida, South Carolina now. Florida down 14-12 after a Jacoby Brissett touchdown run, going for 2 in the tie, but he is picked off. Gamecocks just kick a field goal, 17-12, South Carolina.
Thanks for that update. Yes, an important game for South Carolina.
Oh, yeah. How about the job that Steve Spurrier has done when you lose Marcus Lattimore, some key players on that football team, and still continuing to win?
Well, you know, I think what's gone unnoticed a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit, is the fact that that defense in South Carolina is stellar.
Yeah.
It is a stout group of guys that will keep them in games.
Yeah, and then you go to the quarterback position as well, where Connor Shaw took over for Steven Garcia, who was dismissed from the football team. And we went in there shortly after that happened, and Connor Shaw did not miss a beat. And they've added some consistency at that position, and then with the loss of Marcus Lattimore, you basically thought, well, you could shut down the season, but Steve Spurrier did not allow that to happen. They are very much in the race for an Eastern title.
By the way, Zach Stacy now 111 yards on the ground. Gives them a couple of more. That's going to be close to the first down. We'll see where they spot it. That's 3 more. So 114 yards on the ground for Zach Stacy today. That is his 4th 100-yard rushing game. And now he is up around 870 yards, closing in on 880 yards for the season as the Commodore tailback.
Well, just having a fine season, and he really stepped up. Warren Norman, who was injured, slowed in his rehabilitation to get back, and they needed a guy to step up and assume the role as a every down back, and that's exactly what Zach Stacy's become.
There's Andre's favorite play, the quarterback sneak.
Oh, yeah.
First down, Vanderbilt. Speaking of Vanderbilt, here's a look at how they win. 3-0 to start the season.
And significant at the tail end, we talked about Tennessee and then Wake Forest, and Vanderbilt has had some, 3 of those losses that you see in there, a legitimate chance to win those football games. And the first time since 1982 that they can put together a 7-win season. And that comes in the first year of James Franklin. I think that's an outstanding job.
Stacy to the 25-yard line.
Excuse me, 17 regular season wins. So, my hat's off to this Vanderbilt program and where it's headed under the leadership of James Franklin. And then wanted to create a competitive environment, and everything they did this offseason, the competition was involved, and it taught players how to fight during adverse times and really learn to depend on one another. And I think it's shown up this season because they have no one's just had their way with Vanderbilt this season. They have fought even in losses. They've been right there to win football games.
Ran right into the meat of that Kentucky defense did Zach Stacy. Taylor Wyndham led the charge. That's a loss of a couple. Wyndham with his 5th tackle from the defensive end position. But the good news for Vanderbilt is that clock continues to trickle down. 8:30 to go in the fourth quarter.
They're having success with that offensive line. They're having fun. At this stage in the game, they want the football game kind of placed in their hands. Just follow me, big guy. We're going to get you to that first down marker. And they've done a nice job of blocking for Zach Stacy and Jerron Seymour.
Vandy 9 out of 15 on third down conversions today. Some movement up front. Josh Gillespie popped up out of his stance. You can probably back him up 5 more yards.
You love those big grunts up, and they just do that to you.
Ball start. Number 69 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
But
he's had a nice game, though. First mistake, I think, maybe Josh Gillespie's made in this football game.
Back to those third downs. This team was 12th in the conference, 115th in the country in third down conversions at 29%. However, to show you how bad they were the first part of the season, over the last 3 games, they're almost 50% on third down conversions. Better than that today.
Well, how about this? They lead Vanderbilt, the SEC, in explosive plays. That's plays over 30 and 40 yards. So you talk about big offensive production. Throw in another one with Jordan Matthews in this football game.
James Franklin wanted a timeout.
Vanderbilt. That is their first timeout, second half.
We'll take the timeout as well. Back in a moment. Today's SEC Network game is brought to you by Honda Generators, power for the ultimate tailgating experience. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Ameriprise Financial, more within reach. And by Verizon, America's largest and most reliable wireless network. Boy, some great shots from our guys in the truck. You look at Vanderbilt Stadium where the home folks pretty happy at this point. 31-8 Commodores out in front after the timeout. Doors looking at a third down and a dozen, sitting at the Kentucky 31-yard line. 3-man rush. Here's Matthews. He has the first down. 13-yard pickup. Randall Burton pushes him out of bounds, and that'll keep the drive alive.
Coaching point right there that James Franklin will tell Jordan Matthews, stay in bounds. Get the first down instead of dancing out of bounds. Get it and then drop down inbounds where the clock continues to work.
Tenth play of this drive coming up. Rodgers now 12 out of 22, 207 yards, couple of TDs and a pick. Here's Stacy. Big hole off the left side. Zach driving the pile inside the 5. Still moving the pile. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable.
And coach likes that one. Loves the effort, and that one filters down through the entire team. The effort of Zach Stacy and the block of Josh Gillespie, the right guard, number 69, allowed that play to continue, and the result is a touchdown. Unbelievable run.
Point after is good. It's 38-8. Zach Stacy's 5'9", 210 pounds. And he just took about 10 different bodies with him into the end zone.
But watch the block right there. Josh Gillespie on Danny Trevathan. The effort of Zach Stacy to get in the end zone. Commodores lead it 38-8.
There's Zach Stacy, 3 rushing touchdowns today. That ties his season high. Also had 3 against Army in a game that he ran for 198 yards. He also had 196 yards on the ground against Ole Miss, but he did that on just 11 carries. Today, he's toted the football 28 times.
Taking a big shoulder of this offense, or put this offense on his shoulders, a big part of it. And he has shown up today, a game that pretty much a must-win for both these football teams. And Zach Stacy, a big part of why the Vanderbilt Commodores are up 38-8.
Here's Bailey. Gets to the outside at the 31-yard line. Brought down by Kerry Spear. His second special teams tackle today for the kicker. Zach Stacy, another big game. Time out on the field. Back in a moment. Back in Nashville, the temperatures are a-dropping, but the Commodores staying warm with 38 points on the board. Right through the hands of DeMarco Robinson, the talented true freshman. Well, attention golfers and club pros. Online registration now open for the 2012 ESPN National Golf Challenge. Log on to ESPNGolf.com to sign up and find a participating course near you. Second down and 10. Kentucky showed a little bit of life in the third quarter with a nice touchdown drive. Kept alive. They had 4th and short.
And a nice answer by Jordan Rogers in this Commodore offense. Zach Stacy a little bit to do with it, and a good mixture of run and pass.
Kentucky converted on a 4th and short. They pick up 40 yards on a pass play on going for it on 4th down.
He's starting to see Maxwell Smith really grind, and the pressure starting to get to him where he's guiding the football almost. Watch this pass. Simple little swing route to the back, and you're trying to guide it right there. You hang in there, you're staying with after a little bit too long, as opposed to it just being a natural motion to get a guy the football.
3rd down and 10. That's big because Kentucky's 0 for 11 on 3rd downs, trying to set up a screen. You can make it 0 for 11. Or make it 0 for 12. Gain of 5 on the play. Koshik Williams with the reception. DeAndre Jones brings him down, and now it's 4th down, and Kentucky will go for it again, down 30.
Yeah, DeAndre Jones is a guy that sees time when they want to give Chris Marv a break, but he's a good player in the middle. And next year, he's going to inherit that middle linebacker position when Chris Marv graduates.
That pass nearly picked off. It'll fall to the ground at the 40-yard line. Carl Butler, who started the year as a safety, has moved up to the linebacking core due to some injuries. Got in the way of that pass. So Vandy takes over. They're up 30. Timeout on the field. 5:40 to go in this one from Nashville.
Fourth quarter, 38-8. Vanderbilt with the lead over Kentucky, and the Commodores just with another strong defensive stand. Defensive coordinator Bob Shoop telling me earlier this week that he has used 2 teams to try to motivate and use as examples for this defense. The 2005 Steelers and the 2010 Packers, 2 6th seeds that went on to win the Super Bowl. Dave?
Pretty good defenses, as Larry Smith comes in at quarterback now for Vanderbilt. Larry, longtime starter here, lost the job midway through the season. Ron Seymour with the carry, gets a couple of yards, and Vandy will just try to run this clock out. 5.5 to go. But you know, we've talked about it. Larry Smith was having, in terms of his numbers, his best season as a Vanderbilt quarterback, and still lost the job.
Yeah, it's kind of upside down on interceptions and touchdowns. 3 TDs, 5 interceptions, but percentage-wise, by far his best season in terms of accuracy. For his year, his career, you see there the number under 50%, but not this season. Jordan Rogers, once he was well, has really started to play.
Larry Smith, 57% completion percentage on the year. Hands that one off to Seymour, and that's a gain of 3. And it looks like some of these veterans will get a little bit of a break. Jordan Rogers.
Well, you see the resemblance to his brother Aaron.
Threw for 207 yards. He was 12 out of 22, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Zach Stacy on the ground goes for 135 on 28 carries. Jordan Matthews, 6 catches, 131 yards. That is his 3rd straight 100-yard receiving game for Jordan Matthews. A toss sweep. No gain.
He's waiting on the big fella, Caleb Welch, and the reserve tackle, right tackle, to get out of his way and didn't allow him to turn the corner. Kyle Simpson in there on the tackle for Kentucky.
Vandy in no hurry as the play clock just now hits 20. There's 3:45 on the game clock. They'll go for it here, kind of in no man's land, kicking back into the wind.
Vandy on the year, fourth down, 77%, 10 of 13 on fourth downs.
Larry Smith will keep it. Big hole off the right side. He has the first down, and Larry with a nice run down to the 17-yard line. Gain of 13. Good to see Larry, the senior out of Prattville, Alabama, with a big gainer. And it looks like a Wildcat player is down back at the 25.
And it looks like Winston Guy. They're outstanding.
And Nellum's also down, Andre.
And Nellum's is down as well, right around where the football was spotted. And this is two important players. Just wash today out, but going forward, if you don't have these two players moving forward, it makes it tough to realistically have a chance to get bowl eligible.
Nellum's today 8 tackles. Tackle behind the line, couple passes broken up. Winston Guy has 8 tackles. He also has a tackle for loss. You know, it looks like maybe Nellum's got hit in the back when the play was over.
One of those big guys just kind of landed on him. It didn't look like it was a big time lick that he took.
You know, he may just had his leg twisted in that pile, and the weight that.
Yeah, they're working around the ankle like a high ankle sprain in that area.
And it looks like they're, when you look back at Winston Guy, that they're focusing more on the shoulder area.
He went out of the game earlier. Remember that he took a shot earlier in this football game and went off for a couple of plays, but was able to get back in. And this is two playmakers. The starter at safety and then the hybrid defensive back linebacker slash for Winston Guy. That's the position he plays. So Nellum's is up trying to get off on his own, but yet to get up is Winston Guy. Now you watch the ankle right there of Nellum's, and that's what they were working on. That's a tough one.
And then Guy looks like a shoulder type situation with him, holding that back as well. And you know, he already twisted that ankle, as you mentioned. I mean, it's just hope those guys can be back next week, because they got to go to Athens and take on the Georgia offense. Not too shabby in their own right. And it's a final, by the way, in Columbia. South Carolina beats Florida, so must-win situation for the Bulldogs today against the Auburn Tigers. A loss by Georgia, and South Carolina wins the East.
Represents the East in the SEC championship game.
So first down and 10. Here's Larry Smith. He'll keep it himself, and good open field tackle. Gain of 3 on the play. Good hit. Taito Smith, safety. There's Zach Stacy, our exhibited the right stuff today, and he's our player of the game. Brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low prices every day. And you know, he has a younger brother, just turned 14 this week. Zach very close to him. There he is in the stands right there. His name is Justin, has Down syndrome.
Very close relationship between the two of them, and as you mentioned, his birthday. Zach's going to surprise him with a birthday gift. We know what it is, but we're not going to give it away yet.
There is Justin, Zach's brother, and of course it was tough on Justin when Zach went off to college, but since then the two have found a way to stay tight, stay close, and you could just see the pride he takes in his little brother Justin. We talked to him yesterday about it. Matter of fact, he's studying educational studies to kind of go down the field and maybe teach some kids, help some kids that also have Down syndrome as he gets later in life.
I really struggled with Zach going off to college. They were so close and spent a lot of time together that every day that Zach was gone, he was asking his mother where Z was. And just an amazing relationship that the two of those guys, the two brothers have with one another.
Crowd chanting Larry, by the way, in the background. Larry Smith, the senior,
great.
his final home game here at Vanderbilt. And the student body recognizes that as well.
That's a great send-off to a guy that's played a lot of football games and played a lot of snaps here at Vanderbilt.
Today's First and 10 line brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota moving forward. Micah Powell now in the game at running back. He'll get the carry, and Micah stops short on 4th down.
They've done a well enough job to really just kind of eat this clock up, and coaches call it the 4-minute offense, where you're just trying to put a football game away, and it could be 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. You're trying to kill as much time to get it off. It's just titled the 4-minute offense. And I think today Vanderbilt executed it perfectly. Just 22 seconds left in this football game for Kentucky to work with.
What a performance by Vanderbilt today. I mean, from the opening kick. And that play should do it. Vanderbilt puts together an offensive performance, 410 yards. They ran 79 plays. They held Kentucky to 200 yards of offense. And the story today, Zach Stacy, 135 yards on the ground. Jordan Matthews, 131 through the air. And Vanderbilt moves one game closer to bowl eligibility. Kentucky will fall to 4-6, 1-5 in the league. Vanderbilt goes to 5-5, 2-5 in conference play. Jordan Rogers, 12 out of 22, 207, 2 TDs, and a pick. And not a good day for Joker Phillips. He'll have to regroup in a hurry. Georgia Bulldogs up next. We will step aside, come back, put a wrap on things. Vandy wins it by 30.